Ah, holy hell, this pipe organ music feels perfect.
It probably is. Are we recording?
We're recording.
Okay. So, on that 3 hour, maybe a few minutes over walk, there's chattering amongst the group of you. There's deliberation and consideration, getting to know each other. But for the most part, it's quiet. And it's hard to get quiet during a constant war, especially when you're constantly targeted. So it's a bit of a comfort and a bit of a paranoia that gets all of you on edge for a little while. And it makes some of you pay attention to your surroundings more as Orlane steps away from Dane, claiming that he has something to ask something of Rook and Vice, instantly grabbing their attention with a stupid comment along the lines of, I have a terrible idea, and I need to be talked down from it, otherwise we're going to have a war crime on our hands. To which
Vice replies, "Fucking do it. Do not listen to her. Do it."
well, at least hear me out. And they start talking, walking ahead, as the rest of you. I need you to roll perception.
Oh,
Shit, I forgot to pull up my character sheet for Tryphon.
where is it? There it is.
You said perception, right?
Try to roll in Owlbear Rodeo and add your modifiers.
Do we advantage because we're on edge?
Yes.
Okay.
Modifiers.
17.
I forgot to hit advantage.
17? No.
I'm still pulling up my character sheet. Give me a minute.
Don't worry.
No, you
Oh
can
my
roll off
God.
Owlbear. No, you need your
Oh.
Hilarious,
Fuck.
objectively.
Aurelia advantage.
My sister
Yeah,
didn't-
I rolled twice because I forgot to hit it the first time.
My
Oh.
sister did not pay the booking D&D Beyond subscription, so now I have to pick 6 characters.
Mm.
I'll give you the money after session. For right now, pick whatever.
Yeah, no, I just need to find all of the characters that I at least want to bring out, because I have no idea what my sister is doing with this account anymore, outside from apparently ignoring it. There we go. Alright. I am so incensed by this. Anyways, alright. So, perception.
With advantage.
With advantage. There we go. How's an 18?
What did you get, Jackie?
I got a 16.
$17 and $18. That's Dane and Tryphon, correct?
Indeed.
Yes.
So while the other two are looking around, their eyes don't catch it. What your eyes see, being the more observant ones despite being recently awoken, is as you're walking by in this
Wait, hold up.
cold...
I missed who passed?
Hmm?
Who all passed the perception check?
Dane and Tryphon.
Okay. Anyways.
You all notice as you are at first walking towards the base you're headed to, you wander off as you catch sight of not a person or a place. It's you swear it's a cabin. as you wander off, and eventually Jackie, though worried about Orlane, trusts Rook and Vice to keep an eye on him, as they've kind of already stopped and gotten into a bit of a, not argument, but debate about semantics of artificing. And Aurelia, you follow suit, but you're a little bit behind. Curious, but uncertain. Jackie, you're not sure what's happening, but you trust your fellow associates in this department. They wouldn't lead you astray yet.
Hmm.
But as you wandered closer to the side of the cabin, and you realize it is just the side, there's barred up windows that look refurbished and redone. There's a couple of them open as if to let in a breeze, even though it's a little cold. And as you wander closer, you realize this area has much less snow and a lot more flowers. White and purple. White with purple in the center. Small and in batches. Though they look almost... How do I put this? They're not wilting or dying, but they, even with clear caretaking, and you can see that they've been taken care of, it's kind of like nothing is making them better, but nothing is making them worse.
Can I investigate the flowers?
Go ahead.
Just to be clear, the cabin is this. Oh wait, give me a second. I need to be able to ping.
Is the thing to the right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Alright. Rolling investigation, and I got a 13.
Dane, is there anything else you'd like to do while I describe this?
While Tryphon's investigating the flowers, can I look at the cabin and see if there's any recent signs of life? I know you said it's been refurbished and so forth, but are there clear signs? There's like maybe a path in the woods where someone treads a lot, like coming in and out of the house or cabin.
I'll get back to that. Tryphon.
Okay.
Yes.
With a 13, as you step out of a mostly wooded area, you step forth into a much larger patch, almost a bush of these flowers. And you notice as you glance off to the side, there's another. And it looks almost as if they've been uprooted by something, moved by force as a whole, and just placed here because they are rooted in, but it seems like it took place over time rather than being put there on purpose. And these particular ones look a little wilted, a little more close to death, as if they are away from sunlight, even though they're not. Like, you can still see sun in the sky. They're shining on these flowers directly. It just seems like these are worse off. What do you do?
Fucking Tryphon reaches a hand up and just sort of uses it to put shade on one of the flowers. See if that does any immediate change.
We'll get
Dane.
back to that. Dane,
Mm-hmm.
make a survival check.
Oh,
Or nature, whichever one's better for you.
I think I have a +3 in both. You said investigation or nature? Or no, survival or nature?
Correct.
I'll do nature because I have a +3 in that. Right.
Dang, unselect the map.
Oh, whoops. Did I do it?
There we go. You got
Sorry,
an 18,
but
correct?
I did.
With an 18 in nature, correct?
Yes.
You notice that this area you're stepping into is not just tread often, It's tread the way a caretaker would be. Someone is here currently. These tracks you're looking at are fresh.
So, like, weaving in between the flowers, like someone who specifically, there's clear marks that obviously someone's been here recently, and then there's a clear path that they take consistently to make sure they hit all the flowers and things they're taking care of.
Correct.
Okay.
At which point,
Go ahead.
Moss, what do you say to these wandering travelers?
Please mind the flowers. They're hard to make.
Do you turn towards the source of the voice, any of you?
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
Sure.
Standing at a good 7 to 8 feet tall, you see a matchup of mechanics and just jungle life, where there are a set of almost dread-like hair going down from their head. All the wiring is covered in moss and vines, though he is wearing what seems to be tightened via thick string pants and shirt. There are no weapons on him. His sleeves are rolled up, and the cogs in his fingers are muddled with dirt and grime. As he is, the only thing in his hands right now is a watering can.
This is clearly a Warforged, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Something that, as priorly mentioned, very scarcely exists.
Mm-hmm.
I will note as a fun little thing about this Warforged that you're witnessing for all of you. For those that had the highest, the passing perception checks of seeing the cabin, you also in this moment, as a last little gift from your DM before I genuinely start getting harsh, the same flowers that you see in this pathway are woven throughout the vines.
In his hair. Or
Hmm.
in their hair. Yeah, okay. Okay. Just off of a quick glance, do I see that the vines or anything it clearly seems it's growing from them, does it seem to impede them in any fashion?
It's up to Kuri, but I'd
No.
say no.
No.
It is
Okay.
a very clear no.
Okay. Gotcha. What time of day is it?
It's mid to late afternoon, not quite evening or dusk. Kind of like it's not on the horizon, but it's like an hour or two off.
Okay.
All right.
Enough to where the street lights would start coming on.
Okay.
What's,
Afternoon, sire.
What sort
I'm
of
not
flowers
a
are
sire,
these?
I'm a moss.
Okay.
I think you're a little bit more than Moss, friend.
What did Tryphon say?
Tryphon asked what sort of flowers they were.
Special ones. Ones that don't grow out in the old world. Not anymore.
I seem to be struggling in this world too.
Not really. Just how they look.
Tryphon is going to. Tryphon hasn't moved his hand from over the flower, by the way.
Mhm. As you glance down at it, as you give it some shade, the couple of flowers, the small little bundle that your hand covers with the shade, They seem to almost not glow in the dark, but kind of glimmer. And you swear it's a trick of the light.
What is this place?
A garden.
Is it just a garden for these flowers?
No.
Would you please elaborate for us?
It's a garden of graves.
You mean a
Whatever you have-
graveyard?
No. It's a garden for graves. One
What?
big grave, one big flower garden.
What sort of grave, then?
So it's a living bouquet for a grave.
Yep. But it's not. Bouquets are replaced. And for the first time, almost scarily enough, Moss moves as if there is nothing in between his cogs and gears, fluid as a person. And he begins watering the flowers. But these don't get replaced. They just get treated right.
As Moss moves, all of you notice that they were standing in the middle of a broken archway, almost as if a door had been there before. And you see past it to a statue that is. It's hard to make out details from here, but it looks as if it's in the shape of a woman.
Grave is this, Moss?
Hmm?
Whose grave is it?
Who's asking?
Someone who wishes to respect the dead.
Dan, give me a perception check.
Key. Let's see. Perception would be +3. Okay. $16.
He's staring at you for a minute. Not in a bad way. Or at least you hope it's not. But he replies. A friends. A leaders. Someone important.
So it's for the many.
You can see it that way. She'd probably say it's something else.
Is it for more memories?
Why would you need memories for someone who isn't dead? You can just make more.
Yeah, but you can't remake the old ones.
I guess you can't.
Aurelia, Jackie,
Yep.
what are you doing as this conversation is happening? If you want, I can give a description of the general area of where you're at.
That might be helpful.
Yeah.
as Dane and Tryphon are talking to this massive automaton, warforged, whatever they're called, this scarce rarity, a gem in the dust of a person. You look around, almost anxious, believing something may go wrong, should go wrong. It's too peaceful, quiet, too serene. But you listen. There's birdsong. It's not a lot, but it's distant and happy and frivolous almost. Aurelia, you look off to the right-hand side. Hold on, let me grab my ping. That's not it. Hold on. Which one's the ping?
It's the
There
little
is.
teardrop looking thing.
That's the pointer. But yeah.
This right here. You look off to the side past the flowers, and you see a standing gazebo almost. Past the trees, past the flowers and the path, you see a gazebo. You can't see much inside it, even though it's open to the air, but it looks like gilded marble. It seems to shine like gilding, at least. And Jackie, you're watching the other two with worry about Orlane, as he's in a fit of mania currently, but you look around and your eyes catch on the cabin. There's almost a homesickness for a place you never went to, and almost welcoming from a person you've never met, and yet you've met them countless times before. What do you do? Jackie, Aurelia?
Anything.
Will Aurelia be stopped if she goes to look at the gazebo closer?
Depends on the others. Contextually, I think Moss might notice, but might not stop you.
Tryphon probably would not notice her initially, since his focus is forward now at the moment. It's towards Moss and the archway.
Dane would probably notice, but not mention anything.
What would Jackie do, seeing Aurelia wander off in just a direction?
Probably just tag along, just to make sure that nothing happens.
All right, then go ahead and move your tokens. Jackie,
Yep.
do you move in that particular line?
No, she's doing her best to avoid stepping on any flowers or any obvious. She's doing her best to follow a path that's already been stamped out.
Mm-hmm. Do you say that in your caution, you accidentally brush up or your hand or your leg against the major flower bushes?
She probably brushes just a hand at most.
As you pass by one of the flower bushes of white flowers with purple center, your hand briefly flourishes across one of the major patches on the bush. And these are livelier looking flowers. You don't know how you didn't notice them, but they're livelier, almost filled with mirth. And you don't know how you know, but as you brush against them, there's a sense of childlike elation in your chest as you walk past and it's gone again.
He's gonna pause at that. Wander back a bit. Can I make a nature check to see, or wait, would it be an arcana?
What do you
Can
think? What do you want to do here?
Can I make an arcana check to see if these are like magical plants in nature?
Go ahead.
Uh, bu- um, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Hey, natural
Let's
20.
go.
Nice.
Jackie,
Yep.
plain and simple, these flowers are the pathway, the kind of the wake left behind of a happy god. So yes, arcane, but also inherently divine. They are the remnants of the wake of a god. Do you choose to do anything with that information?
I'm gonna let Aurelia do her thing first.
All right. Aurelia.
Yeah.
You at first hear Jackie's footsteps following you, but they pause, turn, and head back cautiously in a manner that she normally doesn't do unless she found something neat. So you at least assume that something caught her eye and you keep walking. And as you get closer to this open gazebo, you see a number of things without needing to roll perception. Out in the open, this gazebo has seen damage. There's a couple of fractures along gilded marble, and yes, it is gilded. Not golden or plated, but gilded. Almost like it was rebuilt a number of times with gold inside of it. A Kintsukuroi fracturing. A sort of rebuilding and making it better. But even this seems to be wearing down, and you see an archway on the opposite side, littered and dotted with wisteria flowers, hanging down and just seeming to thrive. And in this environment, they shouldn't thrive at all. And in the distance, you swear you might see a couple of other odd plants, flowers, and but you can't make out what's over there at this distance. You're welcome to make any roll you deem fit.
Nope, that is not the right button. God damn it, these map controls.
It's still new. Give yourself some time.
Moving closer, can I investigate the gazebo further?
Make investigation check. Well, okay. What are you investigating specifically? Because that might change my roll.
I don't know. Just the gazebo.
Make an investigation check.
Bless.
Hee.
It's always on my sessions too. I don't know what's going on. So Aurelia.
Yeah.
You step up to the edge of the gazebo, and there's a feeling in your chest, a sort of somber recollection that is not your own. And it's not hearing or feeling or thinking or remembering what you think you might know intrinsically, but it's more instinct. You instinctively react with a smile as you hear laughter. There's a distant song in your ears as you get close. And you swear you hear the flickering light of candles and torches that are no longer burning. And you do look around this gazebo, and there's 6 unlit torches. Braziers, rather. Just sitting there. They look like they haven't been touched in a very, very long time. There's marks on the floor of the gilded gazebo that suggest constant wear and tear, but not as if a battle had taken place inside it, but rather shoes and boots and tap shoes and markings as if dancing. And then you
Julia.
see and then you see marks along the inside of the gazebo on each of the pillars. Names you don't recognize, hearts with plus signs, little markings of counting days, marks and tallies and hearts and pluses and messages. A reminder of who was here. What do you do?
Not sure.
Would you like me to come back to you?
Yeah.
Dein and Tryphon and Moss.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What is Tryphon or Dein asking Moss currently?
Is go ahead.
Tryphon was just going to ask Moss, could I go past you? Just
No.
Is there a reason why?
Yes.
Can I have the reason?
Simple. Not one of hers.
What do you mean by that?
Simply said, not one of hers.
Is the statue behind you this lady you speak reverently of?
Yes.
Who is she?
A friend. First friend.
How loud like is this audible? Is all of this audible from where I am?
Vaguely, you'd get bits and pieces, but if you want to hear more of it, you're gonna have to turn your gaze away from
One.
from what you're doing.
You're good 20, 30, 35 feet out, so.
It like this is what I'm saying. It's like vague recollection of like, oh, they're talking. I can't make out much. Maybe every 1 out of 5 words, because you're focused on the flowers. But if you want to turn your gaze away, I will say yes, but you would have to re-roll if you want any more additional information on the flowers.
I just
Her
want to make
attention,
sure. Go ahead.
her attention does go to like moss. Just this place. This was a god's domain, wasn't it?
Tryphon and Dein, you were both paying attention to Moss, yeah?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The peaceful green eyes turn quickly red as the watering can is put down. What's it to you?
Just curiosity.
We're not here to cause any trouble.
I know.
Moss,
Yes.
as caretaker of this living garden, you know quite well when the original caretaker of this place is watching. And though you are hesitant, wary, new people often means bad news. Especially after the last time someone quote unquote new showed up. But you glance at first towards you first glance towards the woman who spoke, the one who radiates as much divine energy as, you know, the person that you had befriended when you awoke. But quieter almost. There's no one who could really match her loudness. But you see behind her, a little ways off, an odd new batch of fresh white Cape daisy. She's listening.
The eyes return to green. Always making my day more. And he picks up the watering can and begins making his way. Over here, I imagine, is where the daisies are growing.
Kind of behind Jackie.
Makes his way towards Jackie and immediately just walks past and begins watering the new growth of plants. Busy body, busy body.
With my high passive perception earlier, or not passive perception, but my perception check earlier,
Mhm.
would I realize that there's a new set of flowers over there?
No. You'd have to make another active.
Okay.
So it's like
Jackie
new.
can't roll because she's not paying attention to it.
Tryphon's going back to investigating the flower bush he was looking at earlier.
Okay.
Just
What are you guys doing?
Dane is gonna take the path he saw earlier and just approach the entrance. Not go in. Very much not go in. Just approach the entrance and look inside.
I'll get to you, Dane, because you're doing exactly what I thought you'd do.
Predicted.
If I'm nothing but consistent, that is good.
I want to touch the flowers.
Tryphon,
What?
what do you do? Do you just shade the flowers, or do you try to pick one, or anything? What do you do?
He goes to shade them again to see if he can see that glimmering a second time. Is he able to recreate it, or
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to pick it? He's just going to just use his other hand to poke at one of the glimmering flowers, just like, is this an actual thing?
Much like Jackie, when you place just your fingertip, one or two at max, against one of the small flower like petals, not even a full flower or flower patch. It's a childlike glee, elation, and you know it's not yours.
Okay. Um. He's staring at them for a moment while player is thinking.
Would you like me to come back to you?
Probably. I need to run to the bathroom anyways.
Alrighty.
Alright, I'll be
Dane.
right back.
I just want to. What was it? Before you describe, I just want to exactly put in place where Dane is.
Mm-hmm.
Approaches very closely to the entrance and probably puts his main symbol of divine blood or Azamar nature on one of the arches to the door, his left hand, and just kind of feels the stone a little bit as he looks inside the sanctum.
Roll religion for me.
God. Thank
Watch
God
it be another
I
nat
have,
20.
thank God I have high intelligence this session. You said religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a +3.
Watch it be another nat 20.
Don't jinx me, please. Ooh, close.
Oh, close.
With a 22, Dane, you reach out and place your hand gently against the stone. And where before touching any sort of divine, holy place, you've only done it once or twice before, and it's always been electric, a sort of shock, an unwelcome feeling of, we don't want you here. This is almost as if something or someone noticed you reaching out your hand hesitantly, and you don't get pulled in. There's no force behind it, but it's almost as if someone is inviting you to dance.
In my perspective at least, it's kind of like that idea if you're like near a long ledge, you kind of like, you have that back feeling in your head to step forward. Kind of like that gravity sensation for the hand just feels like it's almost, as you said, pulled towards the stone.
What do you do? It does. I will note this. While you did make a religion check and you did get a very high, almost nat 20 roll, you know that this feeling is divine in nature, as if something divine is asking you to step forward, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels as if you're talking or being around just another soldier, another person, another mentor, just another person.
Dane's just gonna lay his left hand palm first onto the stone and just whisper to himself almost. A call to a dance. May I enter?
It's not words that answer you, but instead your eyes catch a flicker of blooming next to you at the foot of the entranceway of the broken stone archway. You notice the blooming of white Cape daisies, white with purple inside, small and in batches. It wasn't there before.
Is it creating a line? Or is it kind of wreathing the doorway?
Half wreathing, half leading, as if to welcome.
Dane will gain a small grin, just like a smirk. Thank you, fair lady. And we'll step inside.
Moss,
Yes.
as you are watering this new batch of flowers, she always did know how to catch your attention when she was causing a ruckus. You feel someone step inside the tarnished archway, broken and left to rot. Even with materials you had, it's not enough to repair it. But it's not hostility you sense, or wariness or uncertainty from your lady. It's entertainment. The same entertainment she gives all of her new followers.
I just want to narrate a little bit too. If you
Hmm?
do look at Dane entering, his left hand is still like holding to the archway, just loosely. Like the fingertips are, or what was it? Like the translucent fingertips are still like softly brushing the stone. As
they're
there's a clear, like, face of muted awe at just the sanctum.
as your fingers still kind of press the door, the archway, you feel cold metallic hand pull them off and let them go. If you are invited, step in.
Moss, there's a brief sense of playful frustration, not from her, but from yourself, as you notice again, she seems to be watching these ones with intent, time as there is a new batch of flowers at the door.
He stares at them. I will pee on your statue. Stop making work. You are overgrowing your own garden. And he sets the watering can down. You watch his wrist lean down and an actual sword jut from his arm as he reaches around the flower bed and cuts it free. I'm going to make dinner now.
As Moss walks away towards this cabin next to the sanctum, Dane,
Hmm?
as you're urged to step inside, followed by the commentary of almost playful frustration from a Warforged of not talking to a reverent deity watching over a devotee, but instead an older friend causing trouble and mischief, and getting a response in turn that matches it. And do you step forward?
I do.
As you step forward, one step, two, then three, hesitant at first because you're not sure what to do with. But then you see a flicker of light as the light of the day starts to dim. Then another, dancing from one side to the next, up then down, flickering around you as if in a pattern or trance. You realize these are both non-natural and natural all the same. There are curious little fireflies almost, wisps of light around you, and they seem to be leading in a line towards the statue.
Even if my curiosity is pointing towards the globe and the fountain in the corner there, I will follow the fireflies and allow them to lead me towards the very clearly centerpiece of the temple. I'm guessing is this facing away from me?
Yes. You
Okay.
see, even with it facing away from you, you still see the form of a woman. Tall but barefoot. She looks caught in the middle of a swaying dance, one hand stretched outward above her head with the other resting seemingly in front of her, but you can't see it. And parts of it are broken. A part of the head, a part of the arm, not broken off completely, but chipped and damaged and broken as if someone tried to and failed. An almost silent act of rebellion from something else.
So it looks like this was purposeful, not like natural erosion.
Correct.
Okay.
You also notice as you kind of round around the almost protective box where multiple kinds of flowers are growing, you notice one thing immediately. Despite all the wear and tear as you head towards the front of it, there's a joyful grin on this statue of a woman dressed in a fine, like, it's so detailed that you can tell that someone had to create a magical snapshot, a picture almost, just to get the right photo to make from, because she was moving constantly. It gives you the impression of a dancing goddess, someone who's constantly moving and laughing and having a grand time. And there's almost a veil over her, over the top of where it's chipped and broken. And you do see pieces of it on the ground next to the statue where it was broken. It makes it look more like a veil. Then make an investigation check for me.
Mm-hmm. What am I investigating for specifically here?
If you want to roll perception of just seeing it, that's fine too. I was just saying investigate because I know you're going to look more into it.
I mean, yeah. I was just like,
You do.
I would just like to know
okay.
what I'm. Yeah.
To preface this, you have been presumably watching the statue as you move, not intending to like say, oh, it's going to move to watch me, but instead seeing every aspect of what could have been done to it because it looks unnaturally broken or worn. So it's the implication of I want to see where this damage began and what the story is.
Yeah. Basically, what caused harm to this statue? Who would
Correct.
purposely, or what's the purpose behind it?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to state that while Dane is investigating, he's keeping an eye on the flowers.
All right. With a 13, you do notice that there are fragments of the statue on the ground that look similar to a wide brimmed hat, detailed and with chips of flowers that have been left to erode and decay almost, even with it being stone and marble. So it occurs to you that the veil was not always a veil, and in fact, proper sun hat with a veil. But that's not what catches your attention as you round to the front of this statue. On the front of the box, there's a plaque. Most of it is scratched out. Do you try to read it anyway?
Of course.
In perfect common. Almost magically so that it reads in your easiest language. It simply reads, "She who loves." If you want time to take notes, I can switch to somebody else.
Yeah, that would be nice.
All right. Aurelia.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to wander towards in this area? Or perhaps, go back to your allies and see what they're doing?
You said there were more flowers down, I assume, this path here?
Mm-hmm.
May I go look at the other flowers?
Of course. Do you walk through the gazebo?
Like, around the edges, but through the inside, yeah. Pourquoi?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Stop bullying Aurelia.
Oh.
No.
Get bullied more, actually, for that very reason. Add a survival. No, I'm joking.
No.
I'll kick your ass, Kuri. Absolutely not.
As you step foot into the gazebo, even on the edge, you're drawn to a sudden halt. One foot in the gazebo, one outside of it, as only one side of your skull seems to pick up, almost as if you're hearing half of a conversation. A woman's voice laughing. Oh, come on, Roni. It's not that bad. It's just a little gazebo. How bad could it be? It's not like it's for you and me. Come on. It's not like you even have interest in that sort of romantic jargon anyway. Neither do I. It's all nonsense. And that's all you hear.
Quietly to herself, what the heck?
So you keep moving.
Yes?
Go ahead. Make a perception check as you're walking.
No.
You don't notice.
Yeah. And that's nothing new here.
What you do notice, because it's pretty fucking obvious that even a 1 would get it, there are multiple garden planters as you walk past them. One at first, a major one, growing a lot of, like, it's not mint. Mint is invasive.
Mint's a bitch. Anyways.
It's like not basil. It's related to basil.
Time, maybe?
Yes. I don't know why I forgot that. Thyme. A lot of growth of thyme, and then you walk a little further and smaller planters. There's different kinds of vegetables, and there's roots and a couple of other flowers that can be used as tonics. It kind of reminds you of Tarek space in a little way.
Somebody's garden.
And you hear the softest little beep From
Eeps.
from above you.
Look up.
You don't see anything. Beep.
Still from above her?
Yep.
Really having a moment of, you know what? Fuck it. Eeps back.
You have a wonderful conversation. Are you currently
Thanks.
druid? I'm fucking with you. Are you currently druid?
No, I'm not.
Unfortunate.
I know.
Goose horn.
Oh, well.
Might actually be a goose.
No.
The tree goose exists.
Better not. On this garden. But Aurelia, after a couple of minutes of just cheeping and chirping back and forth, you assume it's a bird of some kind.
That seems
Sounds-
logical.
Sounds young, but you're not sure. A lot of higher pitched bird calls sound like an adolescent to young bird.
Birds are weird.
And then out of nowhere, there's a sudden press down of a weight on your left horn. And then the fluttering of wings as you turn your head towards the sound. And there's a very small, rotund blue jay sitting right there on your shirt. Just right there.
A round boy.
A rotund.
A borb.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Delighted little Aurelia smile. Oh, hello.
Welcome back, Raylan. You came back just in time for Borb. There's a fat fucking round bird on Aurelia's shoulder.
Really made a friend.
It's just cheeping happily at you.
It's just a little guy.
Borb sits.
Borb sits.
Yes. You do see to the left of you, like if you're facing down towards the bottom of the map with Aurelia,
Mm-hmm.
to your left, towards the sanctum. You do notice, because this is a very broken down sanctum and temple almost, you do see through the broken archways and railings of this singular floor that Dane is staring either at the statue or at something on the statue or something, but looks entranced.
So Dane is being himself.
Correct.
If I can,
Mhm.
just noting, Dane is absently touching it with his touching the plaque with his left hand. Not like
We'll get
with
to
the
that.
flesh part, but like the translucent, radiant bits.
All right, we'll get back to that.
Mhm.
Aurelia, is there anything else you do? Other than befriend a round boy?
He's a round boy. Just a little guy, and she is delighted. Not that I can think of in this moment.
Alrighty. Tryphon and Jackie? Where did you go?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather
No,
Boy?
I know I found you. Why are you over there? Hold on, Tryphon, give me a
I've been
second. Jackie, what are you doing?
I've
God
been
literally looked through the
moving the
screen and
entire
what are you
time.
doing?
Have you not noticed?
No, I was zoomed in on the other two.
All according to plan.
No! Just what are you doing so I can get back to Tryphon?
and just, and just kind of looking around, just examining the architecture.
We'll get back to that because there's a lot going on there. Tryphon, what are you doing?
Well, he's going to do the thing that has been tormenting my thoughts for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to reach out and he's going to cup one of the flowers. Like, not roughly or anything, like he's cupping an actual person's face. Just to see what happens.
You feel it's not weight on your back. It's a sort of lingering presence. Almost as if someone's looking over your shoulder and smiling, and you know they're smiling, but they say nothing.
He's going to look over his shoulder, see if who's there, if anyone's there.
No one's there.
I'm going to guess that this is a good. I'm saying this in character, Tryphon. I'm going to guess that this is a positive thing I'm doing.
As your hand is still touching this patch of flowers, and you say that, there's no real answer aside from the feeling of amusement that is not your own.
He is going to take his hand away for a brief moment. Does the feeling
That
still
feeling
linger?
ends.
The feeling ends, and he goes to cup the flower again. Does it return?
A different feeling shows up, an almost giddy feeling of breathlessness after laughing hard enough to make your cheeks hurt.
How is this funny?
What's that?
Tryphon just asking, how is this funny?
You get no response.
But he can still feel the feeling lingering there.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as back in character. As long as I'm touching this, I can be aware of, and he does just a vague gesture with his free hand of wherever this person may be.
You swear you heard someone giggle. And then all at once, the feeling ends.
Even with him still touching the flower?
Correct.
Yeah. He does linger for a moment to make sure it's gone before he takes his hand away and goes to look to see where Dein went. Which I am assuming he will see fairly... Well, no, because Dein's around the other side of the statue.
Mm-hmm. You see a clear path to the statue. From behind, at least.
Yeah.
Which I am going to post a reference for how the general vibe and outfit.
He's going to approach the archway as well, though. That was part of his original path. Now he's back to it. He'll just glance inside. Make sure that Moss isn't around.
By the way, that's the attitude of the statue in Muted VC.
Aww.
Ah.
Very much mid-dance. So, Tryphon,
Yes.
what do your eyes catch on first?
I mean, to be fair, this thing here is the thing that pops out the most.
But what does Tryphon look at?
The statue straight ahead.
Alright. So, as you step onto the threshold, staring at the back of the statue, you notice a couple of things with your passive perception. One, there are little flickers of wisp, lights. White, yellow, gold, a flash of blue, flash of green. Almost like, you know those light up, they're like, it's when like you assign colors to piano keys and they just briefly light up when you play them.
Yeah.
It feels like someone's entertaining someone, something, themselves, a group, just playing along. A green here, yellow here, bright gold, white. Like a circus act.
Huh. And is it like when Dein went in there and had the little trail, or just...
Well, what do you do at the archway? Currently, they're all scattered.
He goes to take a step past the threshold. Just... boop.
There's a feeling in your chest of you're too new to this environment to understand this feeling, but the player does. It's a feeling of going home for the first time again.
Ah! Just, he stops for a moment in confusion. Just... what? Quietly to himself, what is it with all of these weird feelings? I don't know. But he does continue just past the archway.
Tryphon,
Yeah.
can you give me an Arcana check real quick?
Oh, this bodes well for me. Arcana. All right. Just a +1. Does a 9 get me anything?
Nope, you're good. Everything's fine.
I did not trust like that. Anyways,
No, you're good.
but he does step inside for a moment, actually glancing fully around, and just. Do the lights do anything else?
As you fully try to focus, tiny little light.
Okay, there she is.
I has a question for Tryphon.
Yes.
Are you a paladin?
Is Nia okay?
Nia's an EBD
Norm.
for sure right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Nia.
Are you paladin or blood hunter right now?
When was the last long rest?
Just before you guys started making your trek.
So you're currently Blood Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cursed with monster goat. Poor Nia.
I'm telling Carissa.
I'm going to guess being blood hunter means I don't get anything special, huh?
What are your proficiencies right now?
My proficiencies are history, insight, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, and survival.
Because you have proficiency in it, roll religion.
I didn't say religion.
What did you say? You said history, right? Didn't you?
I did say history, and I have advantage with history too.
Okay.
You have advantage
Okay.
if it's related to tracking down monsters or other like. Just a heads up.
Wait, where does it say that for me?
In Blood Hunter, you should be able to look in your. It should be one of your like second level features of you have advantage in like one skill, to make sure you can track down monsters and the like. Yes. Blood Hunter.
Not finding where it says the advantage comes from. Okay. I have advantage on survival checks to track fey, fiends, or undead.
Okay, that might be what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Okay, and you have advantage on intelligence ability checks to recall information about them. Alright, that's where it's coming from. So does that mean
You don't have advantage.
I
You
don't
don't have advantage on this.
Unfortunate for me. It landed on the edge. And of course it went with the lower number.
You're fine. Bonks you. Stop that.
Oh.
This is a silly session. Quit it.
It's hard
No
to have
sad.
sillies when I'm failing all the checks to get the sillies.
These aren't facilities. These are just checks.
I'm still failing all the checks.
You're fine. With a 9, what you do get you get this feeling like you should know it. You should know what this is, who this is. The laughter is so familiar. But you can't, it just doesn't come to you. Maybe because you're too fresh or you're fucking hallucinating. You're not sure.
He is willing to bet on it being both, honestly.
Is there anything you'd like to do?
Honestly, he's going to check. He's going to check this thing out. Now that he's actually closer, it's just like because this definitely looks like something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's going to wander over to get a closer look at it.
It looks like a sculpture made entirely of glass. You don't know how it survived whatever happened here, if it's not a recent additional entirely.
Can I use investigation to see if it is?
Go ahead.
Alright, what's my modifier for investigation again? Alright. You have got to be shitting me.
Better to have these rolls now than the next session.
Watch, I'm going to have these rolls the next session too. I have terrible luck with this campaign.
With a 9. You can't tell what era it is, but it's not one you recognize and it's not recent.
I'm going to touch it.
We'll get back to that. Jackie,
God damn.
Yes.
what you doing?
Okay, so while all of that was going on, like earlier with when you resumed in over on Aurelia and Dein,
Mm-hmm.
the exact path that was taken was like along the edge, just kind of running her right hand, like just brushing against the side of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that does anything, but I'm going to take a closer look at the architecture. Just see if there's anything I notice about it.
Roll
Any, like,
religion or history. Up to you.
um, um, uh, doesn't matter either way. I've got +1 to both.
Different information.
Um,
What would Jackie be looking for? The architecture or the
Um,
history?
I'm gonna roll religion. Nope. At 10.
All that you can gather with a 10 is that this temple was not used as a temple. It was used as a safe haven. Do you do anything else?
Hmm. I'm trying to see what else I can do. Trying to think of what else I can do.
You can just wander off if you want. Do your own
That
thing.
is true. I'm just gonna keep on walking. Just keep one hand against the walls, just tracing over the history of. Ouch, my shoulder. Ow,
Did you move wrong?
my shoulder just popped.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Listen,
Jackie.
bones are made of Rice Krispies.
Jackie.
Yes.
You get this feeling as your fingers trace against the outer edge of this temple, this safe haven, this spot away from the war, away from the cycle, away from everything. As if a catalog of timeless eternity. And then you realize it's not even that. It's a sort of gentle admittance that time will pass and time will collect. But that does not mean you cannot cherish what you have. As your eyes catch on one full section of wall as you continue walking, and it's covered basically top to bottom in what's left of child drawings. And you know they're clear young children. Even if you have never really met a child, you know instinctively, the drawings of a child, a happy child, flowers and birds and sunshine, gardens and people that they trust, stick figures that over time become faces, done in chalk, done in paint, chipped and faded. What do you do?
What do I do with that information?
It's up to you.
I'm just gonna store that in the back of my mind for later to ask Moss about. And then keep on walking. See if there's anything on the other side of this temple.
You see, as you walk around, an endless forest that should not be there in this tundra. There's still snowfall, but it doesn't seem to last. You see the point way, way in the distance where you see the snowfall start to stick again. But it's not here. Not right now. It does not touch you. Yeah, there's a small echo on Jackie's end. Probably the sensitivity is too high.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Gonna keep moving this way. See if there's anything.
You do see Dane, and you do see him touching a plaque, and you do see the statue of the dancing goddess.
Just gonna pause at the threshold. Hands, like, arms still kind of brushing against, this time, the archway.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
That. Just save. One, 2, 3. 13.
You do not feel a tug, but you do feel the urge to almost tilt your head in playful confusion, as if someone is asking you a question you don't understand.
Can I try to focus more on the feeling to discern anything?
Roll. Roll flat charisma for me.
"21."
You stand there and you watch Dane brush his fingers against the plaque that you can't read. And you focus and you focus. Deeper inward than outward. And the bird song fades. And you hear humming of someone not quite paying attention, but listening. A woman's attentive chuckling. I didn't expect someone to be here so soon. Or at all.
Why is that?
Who's asking?
Oh, it's rude for a lady to just ask someone's name without offering her own.
Well, here's the thing about that one. Kind of hard to offer a name when you don't got one.
Don't
Or at least
have one or don't
or at least,
remember.
oh, I remember plenty. It's just not my main focus. You should probably get back to your group.
They can handle themselves.
Oh, do you finally trust them? You and your paranoia issues that I've witnessed, I don't think you trust anybody, let alone your own best friend. What do you do, Jackie? Or say. It's up to you.
She's gonna offer her name and then turn her attention back outward. Just Jacqueline. Or Jackie.
sweet.
Either way.
Oh, sweetheart. That's not the name you want to give, is it? I'll wait. And then the feeling fades as you stop paying attention.
What was that
Dein.
supposed to mean?
I was called, yes?
Correct. As you reach out to touch the plaque, you hear it's not a memory, or at least not a memory of yours. With the touch of your divine radiance, an echo through your touch of something you can no longer even fathom. You hear very clearly a laugh. This is a bit much, don't you think, guys? I don't. Feels. And you hear a distant chatter of what, like worship? Like you're not, our goddess? Oh, please. No, 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 no. Don't. I hate when that happens. I hate when this. Bleh. I'm your friend. First, okay? I don't ask you to do these things, okay? It's just. Bleh, bleh. Well, we haven't been asked to follow you either. We just do. Because you're a good woman. And a better goddess. How does Dein react?
Dane's just gonna look up at the statue. Just no smirk or much less of any emotion on his face. The same stoic mask as always. And just solemnly when you give love, you give it tenfold. And you get it 100. You loved, and they all loved you back.
That vision you get, and you realize it is a vision. The last thing that occurs to you is that something in that vision not glitches or malfunctions like a cassette tape, but more like flickering static on a brand new TV as something turns to face you, Dein, and goes, "Of course. Why else would I have sacrificed everything to protect what was left?" Oh, you should watch out, though. Moss is very protective. And that's where it ends. Like the mid-vision.
I'll keep it in mind, fair lady. And Dane will just pull back his hand and simply take in the scenery the flowers, the statue, and just as he's still looking up at the statue, just close his eyes. Almost like he is praying, but also maybe just enjoying the moment of relaxation, of peace in this garden. Sanctuary, that's the word.
Tryphon,
Yes.
similar to Dane, as you reach out and touch this glass sculpture, you get almost a sense of relief. Well, I don't think that was worth it. And you hear laughter from several sources. All that time and effort, and to what end? This is going to break in the next 3 days with the kids. You know, that just makes me think. And there's a sigh from someone else in a garbled sentence you can't make out. No, hear me out. It's not a bad one this time. Because, like, okay, so, question. Because there's no animals allowed in here, aside from, the ones that I summon. But consider, and honestly consider, just don't walk away. Come in. And you get, that is all you hear.
Just. Huh. Okay then. Alright. He does take his hand away after, I'm assuming, the vision ends, or.
Mhm.
And he does finally turn to look around the rest of the area, and I'm assuming he can see Dane and Jackie at this point.
Correct.
So he does start wandering over to Dane and just, hey, you're not hearing and feeling weird things too, are you? Dane.
Ooh woo, blank.
You're muted.
I didn't realize it was muted, fuck. Dane's just gonna continue to have his eyes closed and just still obviously in a relaxed posture and just I've been feeling the influence of others. Yes.
At least I'm not the only one.
Possibly just the echo of one, however.
It's just, he does pause for a moment and shakes his head. It's just like, I don't think it's just an echo.
I do not believe so either.
Moss is just there now.
Menacingly.
Moss is looking over the side directly at Aurelia.
You get looked at back.
Moss stops, looks at the statue, has a sort of silent conversation, looks back at the remnants of the open guardrail, looks at the statue again, has no lungs but sighs, and steps over the edge and falls just a small bit.
Is he
Watching his
good?
step. watching his step and never hitting a plant. He avoids one, goes around, holds up a grass bar. Eat
What is that?
nutritious protein bar made out of flowers. It is good for organics, I'm told.
Sorry, I'm gonna need you to repeat most of that sentence. I was laughing too hard.
Nutritious plant bar, protein bar made out of flowers. It is good for organics.
He's getting a slightly doubting look from Aurelia, who's like, I don't know if that's edible.
Hey Aurelia, can you do me a real quick thing? What's your passive perception?
19.
He's a fucking robot. He doesn't know what is good or good isn't good for organics.
He's a robot. Don't trust his food.
Thank you for the effort, but I don't think that's edible, sir.
Try.
No, thank you.
There's a very small cheep.
Try.
Calling it now is going to give Aurelia the ability to talk to the bird.
I feel like some part of this would be objectively more hilarious if Aurelia was a druid right now, but it is what it is. I don't eat grass or flowers, sir.
Try.
No, thank you.
It is now just Moss is staring at the bar at you, just gently, like, as if there's actual hesitation. Just gently puts it in your poncho or little scarf.
Aurelia looks at the bird like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Eat it.
Obviously.
Fret not the worries of maybes. You will be fine. And just like pats your shoulder.
Thank you?
You are prominent. She
What?
will like you. You are prominent. She will like you. Very
Big ol'
soft.
floating question mark over her head, like, what just happened?
As Moss walks away, there's just a muffled of, "No, I am not climbing over the border. That is rude."
But you just did.
Technically, he stepped off the border. Didn't climb over it.
She seems fascinated with all of you.
Who is she?
That is the question of the hour.
She is a friend.
Is there something we could call her by?
Would I ask you to introduce yourselves? Or would I ask you to introduce others?
I mean, she already said she doesn't have a name.
Wait, she straight up
Moss, do
talked
you
to
hear-
you?
Moss, you hear the succinct giggle of somebody who's playing a practical joke.
She is a lying whore, but a good friend.
All of you hear the it's not necessarily in your heads, but more so a feeling of, hey,
Don't be fucking rude energy.
Tryphon does admittedly just snorts, trying not to laugh. Just a...
Moss
Yeah.
continues his very robotic laughter. Ha 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 ha.
Tryphon does look around the area for a moment before just holding his hands out like, well, might as well try this. What is your name?
make a religion check.
A religion check?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, because I've got advantage with religion, but I don't think that... no, it's an intelligence check, though. Okay, of course, so I can't get advantage with it. Fuck! Watch, I get a nat 20 on this one. No, I do even worse.
Better question, what would you like us to call you? And I'm just gonna kind of try and give the help action.
I thought that's what you were going to do. I thought that was what you were going to do. I'll allow it.
Allow what?
Help action.
Oh, okay, so I can roll again then?
Mm-hmm.
This will be the nat 20. I give up.
You gotta
Right.
stop trying to call in that 20.
Tryphon.
Well, even when I wasn't calling it a nat 20, I was still I was still doing badly with
Right.
rolls. Yes.
Roll again. As you feel glimmering eyes of moss on you.
I think you should just do a different thing.
Just believe in the heart of the cards.
I've rolled 3 times!
No. So, Tryphon, you don't necessarily get an answer to your question, you get another question. It's a feeling of, doesn't matter.
I mean, I could just call you, hey, Miss Goddess or something.
And then you hear her. It's the same voice from the vision. That's kind of like calling you Miss Satyr, Mr. Satyr. Like, what's the issue here?
That's... It feels rude, okay?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So what can we call you then?
I don't
If
think that matters.
I may, Tryphon.
Alright.
Ooh,
Go
I
for
like
it.
this one. Hold on, give me a second. Like talking to you as if you can see her. Just going, ooh, I like this one. Actually, yes, he says things. I like what he says. Hold on, give me a second.
My lady,
Ah,
you are not visible.
well, of course not. I'm dead.
Still, you're forgetting. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And he holds up the watering can.
All right, give me a second. I just gotta focus. The brain demons are. Give me a second. And there's a pause, and like an almost felt pause. And then it's not.
Uh-oh. Here it goes again.
Ooh. Oh no.
I'm wondering if Nia's phone is overheating.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
We need to get her a microphone for her computer.
We really do.
Like, desperately. What is it, Ash? What do you want?
Loki, come on. Stop being a dick. Stop turning it off and on again as a joke. It's not the time for this.
I'm not sure we get to tell him that.
I do.
Vryn is
Okay.
one of
The
the few
tweet.
people who can sass back at Loki.
It's our tweet.
Okay.
Worshippers of Loki get to sass him out, but only when he's in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, he just keeps making direct eye contact with me. I don't fucking worship him.
He
He
showed up
shows-
Eye
once, gave
contact.
me Fei Zhao, and then took my fucking airheads.
Yeah.
Specifically the
Yeah.
blue ones, my dear.
Yeah.
They're still
Right,
right there on my thing. I haven't thrown them away yet. I don't know what to do with them.
Hi, Jackie.
We're good?
They're muted.
Gently paps.
Well, I'll accept being muted. It's mostly just, will she be yeeted back into the void for the 15th time today?
Hopefully not.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Maybe. Hopefully.
We're getting you a microphone for your computer. Don't even
So-
don't even try to reject it. You need it.
Okay,
It's-
so, guys,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
you see not a figure of a woman, but kind of a mist around Moss, and you hear, not inside your head or as a feeling, but physically a voice, weary and tired. Hey, Moss.
No problem, madam. And if any of you are paying enough attention, you will notice her voice can be somewhat allocated to a secondary speaker system through Moss to allow for ease.
So, this is going to be a little weird to say, but I don't like the whole thing of like, oh, just just I'm. This is complicated. I'm kind of dead, kind of not. I'm around.
Your death has been greatly exaggerated.
Yes. Oh, I love that joke. Roni hates it. But no, You guys are fascinating.
I appreciate that.
I am curious on how so, but cool.
Well, it's hard to understand the machinations of a god, right?
Not you.
Oh, did you? Shush! Hey!
So there's a simpler reason than what she's suggesting? You saying this to Moss?
Up to her.
Just call me Yuki. Everybody does.
Just
Okay.
because everybody does doesn't mean that that's what you want to be called.
I don't see the difference here. Coming from you, Miss Jackie.
It is a pleasure to meet you, fair Lady Yuki.
Nope, wrong.
Nice to meet you, Yuki. I'm Tryphon.
That's better.
To be fair, I just think Dane talks like that to everyone.
I do.
A little bit.
So I have a question. I have a question for you guys. It's a very serious one. Very serious one. Mosh, don't say anything.
Okay.
My ears are open.
I'm listening.
You almost feel the playful, sinister grin of someone about to ask the dumbest fucking question you've ever heard in your life.
Tryphon actually recognizing that feeling, just going, oh no.
Is it gonna be a fucking these nuts joke or something?
No, it's not. I know what's about to happen.
We'll let it happen.
So, I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time, and I have an answer. I just want to hear your responses. No, you cannot sway my mind on this. I just want to hear it, okay? Be honest with me.
Okay.
Do you, under the circumstance that a cat can bark, can a dog meow?
Yeah.
Solid maybe.
Physically incorrect.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Mimic. What about a mimic then? Huh?
We can ask one of the ones hiding in your garden.
That's true.
I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
What? Huh?
Mimics in the garden?
Yeah.
Just to be sure,
Yeah.
they're not any of the flowers, right?
Why would I tell you what they are?
It's just
That
out of...
ruins the fun.
No. If you hide, would you not find it rude for someone to point you out?
I mean,
They're harmless. Okay? You keep them fed, they're fine. Honestly.
and when was the last time they were fed?
I don't know. Moss?
They have been fed.
Okay, good enough. Anyway,
Tryphon with the expression of, that doesn't say when!
you hear the tired sigh of someone who exerted a lot of energy to talk really fast. Well, you guys should probably get back to your group. They finally noticed that you're gone. So,
I
you
mean,
must.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a nap. If Ronan shows up, just tell him I'm sleeping.
My lady.
Yeah.
And he moves to the corner, points at Aurelia.
Oh, yes, her. What about her?
Look.
Oh, I know, I did that.
No, no. Not that. Look.
You hear the distinct snickering of somebody who's about to make a terrible joke. Look with your special eyes, Moss.
I have been. You are the one killing time.
You can't kill time.
Is that not what we tried to do before?
Blech.
My
Just
ass
the
is
bleh.
so rusted.
This is a snort. And you guys are kind of witnessing secondhand of just the attitude of this goddess, this person that is so admired by her people.
He's a fucking
She's just
menace to
another person.
society.
Mm-hmm. And then going, all right, I see it. I see it. I'm not stupid.
It is still a bud, but it will
Mhm.
blossom.
Let's hope so. I don't have the energy these days to try again.
Turns and looks at the other three in front of the statue. They are still seedlings.
They'll
Maybe
get there.
they will. Yes, maybe. Now, what is it? The Lord says. Ah, yes. Get the fuck off my property.
Eh, fine. Whatever. And
Be gone,
you all
your statue. You
eh,
must recover.
fine. Just
The
the
dead
whisper
must
of
rest.
whatever.
The dead must rest. And it's like, as you all watch this kind of energy leave Moss, it's like he was speaking through the wrong. His voice was coming out of the wrong speakers for a second, so his voice just got very distant, then returned. I am good.
Are you?
As this kind of transition happens, Dein will just say, and it has been a pleasure, Lady Yuki.
Dane, you just feel the very gentle pat, 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 pat. You know that pat the rat emoji that I keep
Yeah.
using? That.
You all will grow. But for now, it is best if you go. Embrace the sun.
Here comes the sun.
Do-do-do-do.
You beat it to me. You did.
Earwormed.
So do you guys leave immediately?
I mean, as as if Tryphon's going to be looking around for anything else that catches his attention, I guess.
Let me see if I can do something real quick, and then yeah, probably yes.
Should I roll perception? Shall I try my luck with the dice again?
Up to you.
Try rolling with like a different dice skin. Maybe that'll help.
How do I change the dice skin though?
So
Oh,
when you go to the dice, you go to the d20 at the very top, and you can choose from the dice skins there.
Okay. I picked that one then. What's my perception modifier? Right, it's a +5. Hey, I got above 10 this time.
there you go. It was just those dice. They didn't like Tryphon.
Or
They were
maybe they
cunts.
just don't like me.
They were cunts.
Dane, what are you doing?
I was looking to see if I had something. I don't have it right now. So Dane will just simply Dane will walk up to the altar and take a page from his journal, quickly scrawl something, fill in his always neat handwriting, tear it out, and just put it as a offering, per se. Step away and then start to leave. I'll send you what was in the note later.
Okay. Jackie, is there anything you'd like to do while I'm deliberating something? That applies to Aurelia as well.
There's a sort of
Alright.
like playfulness as Jackie just kind of gives a curtsy to the statue. Until we meet again, Yuki. I'm sure we will. And then just walks away.
Aurelia.
And then
Does Aurelia eat the plant bar finally?
No, that's still in her scarf.
That will remain.
She's not sold that it's edible.
Only way to find out. Don't be a pussy.
I will be, actually. Thank you very much.
Alright then.
Yeet.
I don't know if Moss is looking at her, but she'll wave at him and then start walking back up the pathway here.
He has no pupils, just a little fire where the eye sockets are. That just how happens to be green. So he's literally just like the fire follows you.
Might as well happen.
Not the weirdest thing.
Yep.
Tryphon.
Yeah?
The last thing you feel is more of a sensation of wanting to dance alongside someone, as if they're swinging you outwards towards the door, as if in parting.
He lets it guide him. Just, alright. Worse things could be happening. I'm assuming that just means he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving on your own, it's more like someone is saying, "Time to go."
Politer, get off my lawn.
Dane will wave back to Moss as he's leaving, and then basically as soon as he's out of sight, stop waving.
Have fun storming the castle!
Think it'll work?
It'd
Don't
take a
step on my
miracle.
flowers.
And as you return to your previous company, Orlane finally seems to notice, or has seemingly noticed, that you've come back, and he frowns and goes, "Where the fuck have you been?"
On a little detour?
Fucking clearly.
Sightseeing.
Apparently meeting a goddess?
That doesn't want us dead.
Sounds fake. Come on, we've got shit to do.
Alright,
That's what we're in.
alright.
I thought you were gonna make a pun about fate.